AITA for living with my mom all the time because I don't want to share at my dad's. My dad got married during the pandemic. His wife has 6 kids, 2 girls and 4 boys. The girls are 13 and 11 and they moved into my room after they decided to move in together. I didn't love it and started sleeping on the couch in the living room. This annoyed my dad as he said it was rude and was hurting the other girls' feelings that I was being so obvious about not wanting to share with them. I told him I had my own room for 15 years and I liked having my own room and I wasn't going to start sleeping with other people after so long. He told me I had no choice. So after a few of my weeks at his house, I spent equal time with both my parents up to that point. Being spent with us fighting about it, I just stopped going and decided to stay with my mom the whole time. My dad was not happy and he asked me why I made the choice I did. Told him because I had a room at my mom's and I wanted to have my own space again. He told me sharing with siblings is fun and think of all the great memories we could share. I told him that I don't really feel anything for them though. They're still not people I love or even care about really, and so sharing a room with them feels wrong. And they took over what was once my space. And there was 3 of us in there while the boys were split between 2 bedrooms. He told me it was a shitty reason to change the parenting arrangement and that it would make them feel like I didn't want them. That was maybe 3 months ago now and we're still going through the same fight. He told me to at least visit on weekend and he wanted me to share the girls' room with them during that time, and I haven't up to now because I would rather sleep on the couch if I go to see my dad. My dad has been really pissed the last week and told me he didn't raise an asshole and I need to get my act together and treat my family better. NTA. Your father's new wife and kids were his choice, not yours. You don't have to love them or feel any kind of familial bond with them if you don't. That can't be forced. Also, it would be extremely difficult for anyone to go from having their own room to having to share with 2 others. Your father wants you to play happy family and you would rather not, which is fine. If your father wants to truly blend this family, he should have taken you all to family therapy prior to the marriage and moving in together. Maybe you could consider going visiting your father for the day over the weekends and not spend the night. Good luck. NTA, and your dad is being TA by not providing for your needs, letting his stepdaughters move into your room and expecting you to be happy with his arbitrary decisions. He's the one being unreasonable here, not you. It's a shitty reason to let them take over your space. If they need a bigger home, that's his problem, not yours. NTA. You stated valid reasons and stood up for yourself. Good luck. Not to mention that it sounds like Op hardly knows the wife's kids and now they're suddenly sharing a room together. During a pandemic, when everyone is home all the time. Heck no. NTA. AITA for telling a parent it is not my fault her child got hurt. I'm writing this still at the skate park and it's loud, so sorry for any typos. Maybe worth a mention, but I'm waiting on the guardie to turn up as she called them. I'm 17F, the child in question is roughly 8 meters. As I said, I'm at the skate park, this other lady is here with her 3 children, 2 on a scooter probably around 10 to 13, they're pretty good but the youngest was just running up and down ramps like mental despite multiple people asking him countless times to stop. Eventually his mother got pissed off and said he's just having fun, and one of the lads says it's his fault if he gets hurt. And he was right, the skate park isn't going to stop for one idiot child. And just that happened, I was the unfortunate one who crashed into this kid, and before anyone asks, no, I couldn't have just stopped without both of us getting seriously injured. Cue a piercing screech from the kid. Mother looks up from her phone and she's starting yelling at me too. She said she was calling the goats and I said go on. There's CCTV everywhere, and it is very clearly the child's fault. The kid has a cut elbow, him also a bit cut up, but it's fine. I offered her disinfectant cream and plasters I have in my bag as well as unopened water to clean out any dirt with. She tried blaming me for what happened. She was pretty up in my face about it, and at this point I said it's not my fault that your child got hurt. He has absolutely no spatial awareness. You weren't watching him and you brought him to a skate park at peak time. If you didn't want him to get hurt, bring him when it's less busy. She wasn't happy, phoned the goats. Now I'm waiting and her child is crying and my friends said I should have just apologized outright and that I'm an asshole. I did apologize to the kid but not to the parent. NTA. If you have not already spoken to the cops, be sure to mention, skaters repeatedly asked the mother to watch her child and she refused. The mother was on the phone and did not see what happened exactly, so her word is not worth as much as yours. If your park is like ours, the other skaters will surely back you up against her complaints. Just try to stay level-headed as you give your side of the story, no matter how hysterical she is. If she tries to interrupt you, just calmly ask the cop, "Excuse me, can I finish giving my side?" Not only that, but op mentions that there are CCTV cameras everywhere. It may get to the point that the cops just say thank you, we will review the video instead if she keeps interrupting. First, for everyone else's clarification, Gardaí is the term for cops in Ireland. Second, NTA. That's like letting your kid run into traffic and blaming the car when the kid gets hit. She was warned, very clearly, what the consequences could be, and you didn't hurt him on purpose, so the mum should shut the fuck up. NTA, it was an accident that could have been avoided if the arsehole parent wouldn't have insisted on hijacking the park in order to turn it into her child's personal playground. Don't apologize to that woman, she should apologize to you. NTA. A skate park is not a good place to bring a young child, where many people will be moving at speed from all directions. The mother was even advised this by those skating. Lo and behold, her ignorance had consequences for her kid. I've been here since midday, 2 ambulances, fire and rescue has been round a couple times, Gardaí left, right and center. It's a skate park, there's a playground not far. AITA for refusing to cook dinner for my BF since he won't respect my cooking utensils. I, 21F, live with my BF, 28M, and I recently purchased some new wooden spoons, like the big kind, from a co-worker who is an aggressive pampered chef consultant. I don't make very much money and frankly these spoons were overpriced, but I wanted her to leave me alone, and after all they're nice spoons and I will definitely use them. They are hand wash only, which I informed my BF of when I brought them home. It's been a couple months and I find them in the dishwasher pretty regularly. Every time I have nicely reminded him that they are hand wash only and please don't put them in the dishwasher. I have said, you don't need to wash them, leave them out and I will wash them. Every time he says okay, but then, you know where this is going. I often come home on my lunch break to keep up with housework. A few days ago I came home and found one of my wooden spoons in the dishwasher. I texted my BF about it, this time with some emphasis on the fact that I've repeatedly asked him not to put this item in the dishwasher and it will literally end up destroying the spoon and I really don't want that to happen to a new utensil I just bought. He replied, I don't care. I was completely taken aback. I expected him to say okay sorry and probably keep doing it, not be completely rude to me. Background, I have always cooked dinner since we moved in together 2 years ago. I was in school and it felt like part of how I contributed to the household since I wasn't making very much money, only working part-time. But I'm out of school now and working more and contributing more to the bills, so I don't feel the same obligation to cook. He usually cleans up after dinner by putting things in the dishwasher, but doesn't clean anything else. When he got home after work that night, he asked what we were having for dinner. Told him I'd already eaten. He was extremely upset that I hadn't cooked for him or otherwise arranged dinner. He stomped around the house and eventually got takeout. The next day he asked me what we were having for dinner. I told him I wasn't planning on making anything. He asked why I wasn't cooking anymore and I said if he didn't care about whether or not my wooden spoons got destroyed then I didn't care about cooking dinner. He totally lost it, said I was completely overreacting. It was no reason to stop cooking dinner without warning. Told me I'm being immature and that he's too busy to keep track of what can or can't go in the dishwasher and it's unfair that I'd punish him for it. It's not his fault he doesn't care about wooden spoons. and insinuated our relationship might be in trouble if this is how I react to conflict. I do feel like maybe this wasn't the most mature route, and I am a lot younger than him, so I'm worried he's right that I'm being unreasonable and immature. But like, how hard is it to leave my wooden spoons out for me to wash after being told multiple times that they can't go in the dishwasher? Edit. So this totally blew up and I'm pretty overwhelmed by the response. It's clear to me that most of you are right that the incident is a red flag and highly telling about the dynamics of our relationship overall. I have always thought that I'm happy in this relationship and that it's really good, but now I'm really confused and have a lot to think about. To answer common questions, we met when I was 17 and he was 24. He does do some chores, well, he takes out the garbage sometimes, mows the lawn sometimes, though I confess that I also do that one on my lunch break occasionally, and handles all the car maintenance. But he's never done any real cleaning in the house. The house is his, he bought it when I was 19 and I do currently pay for half the mortgage/bills/groceries. It leaves me essentially no money for myself. Our finances are pretty mixed and he monitors my credit card usage obsessively, to the point that he will sometimes call me 15 minutes after a purchase to ask for details about it. Why did you spend $54.28 at Costco? Which I see now is also pretty controlling and unhealthy. I am seriously reconsidering the relationship, but also don't really know how I'd leave. I've never lived on my own. I don't want to move back in with my parents. BC, that's a whole other story. I don't know the first thing about getting an apartment on my own, but I don't want this dynamic to be the rest of my life. Thanks for the eye-opening revelation, but FCK, where do I go from here? Second edit. Forgot to mention he makes about twice as much money as I do. Third edit. Holy crap, you guys. You are all being so amazing to me, it's really overwhelming and emotional. I'm hardly responding to comments/messages. BC, I'm grappling with a lot of hard truths about all this right now. I'm so appreciative for everyone who has taken the time to point out the red flags and offer encouragement and support. This community is freaking amazing and I'm just blown away. I'm also figuring out an exit strategy. I actually already have a small cash stash where I've been saving up money to take the licensing exam for the profession my degree is aimed at. I realize now how sad it is that I've had to sneak cash into an envelope for an exam to advance my career, and how the only reason my BF has been adamant we couldn't afford this is BC it would offer me better job opportunities with better pay and more chance for freedom. I'm literally re-examining every last detail of my relationship right now and uncovering more and more unsettling details. The rose-colored glasses are off. Those of you who guessed I've been pretty isolated from friends are correct. My social life is his social life and I don't know how that even happened. Not wanting to go to my parents for help is more of a pride thing with a bit of estrangement. It wouldn't be ideal, but I'm understanding now that my situation is grave enough to consider putting my pride aside and ask them for help. I was, and I guess still am, feeling terrified about trying to live on my own since my BF has been taking care of me my entire adult life, but as someone commented, I've been taking care of him, managing a house, and paying half a mortgage and bills. I can actually take care of my shit. I do not need him. That said, I'm emotionally gutted and am not ready to go nuclear on this situation just yet, but I will post an update once I'm out to let everyone know how it goes. While I'm coming around to admitting I'm in an emotionally abusive situation, I'm having a hard time imagining him getting violent with me. However, I hear your concerns and have read a lot of the resources you guys have provided and plan to act as though violence is a possibility, even though I feel silly and dramatic for it. Better to be dramatic than hurt. Again, thank you all so much.